This episode, we celebrate the spirit and resilience of Sonoma, California. Our travels in the heart of Sonoma take us to an historic hotel and restaurant, a family winery offering a unique tasting experience, a favored diner, a spin along the vineyards, an award-winning brewery, a treasured cheese company, and a visual arts experience. Come on, let's get going. Let's dine out along the road. That is so good. Every town, every city has its hot spots and hidden gems. Join us as we travel the back roads and the main highways, sharing the untold stories behind the food, drink, culture, and notable people that make up these unique treasures. Come on, let's dine out along the road. Dave, I absolutely love Sonoma. Tell me a little bit about the spirit and the energy of this town for you.
Absolutely. Sonoma is such a great community. People come here because they just feel like they're a part of the Sonoma family. There's amazing restaurants, there's incredible wines, and oftentimes when you go in to visit, you're meeting the winemaker, you're meeting the chef, and it's really cool because they make you feel welcome. So it's an incredible place not only to live, but to visit.
You went through a lot of devastation a few months ago. I mean, it was all over the news, all over the world about the devastating fires affecting all of Northern California. How did that devastating moment galvanize this community?
Sure, it was a scary couple of weeks here in Sonoma Valley, but you know, we're so thankful for the first responders that saved, you know, the town. We're here on the Sonoma Plaza, and it's beautiful. You know, the history is still here, the culture is still here. You know, Sonoma Valley as a world-class destination is still here.
Do you have your own little favorite hidden treasures and unique little finds that you kind of frequent from time to time?
I do, absolutely. You know, in the summer months and in the spring, we have our Sonoma Farmers Market, which is on Tuesdays, right here on the plaza, actually. And it's essentially a locals party. You know, we have a band that plays and all the farmer produce and food trucks and wine and beer. You can actually picnic here on the plaza and have wine and beer because there's, you know, an open container policy here on the plaza.
It's a beautiful community with amazing people, just like you. You're awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
A landmark in downtown Sonoma, the Eldorado Hotel and Kitchen pairs urban sophistication with wine country spirit, translating the accommodation at this boutique hotel to both charming and elegant. The Eldorado Kitchen offers seasonally sourced fare in an open, relaxed atmosphere. Here we find Chef Armando Navarro preparing a visual feast, paella, his specialty. But this hotel has been around for a long, long time, hasn't it?
Sure has, absolutely. So it was built about 1843 by Salvador Vella, who's the brother to the famous General Vella.
Yeah.
But ever since about the 40s, 50s, it was always a hotel and a restaurant, an Eldorado Hotel and Kitchen.
You know what I love about the hotel and the restaurant? It's like you're right here in the epicenter of downtown Sonoma.
That's what makes us so unique. Sonoma's a quiet town, but the bustle is right here in the plaza. You've got over 25 tasting rooms, you've got restaurants galore, and you've got a handful of hotels, but I feel we're very unique, being the hotel, the restaurant, the bar lounge location, really your stay, your play, your rest, relax, renew. It's all about location for this hotel. You can park, forget about it, and just walk around to the tasting rooms. Our guest service specialists will set up an itinerary.
You know, how much pride do you have in what you do every day here?
You know, half the time I forget I'm at work. I love Sonoma County. It's a very unique county. We're real spread out, but we have a big community feel. We've got wineries, we have the agriculture, we have the beer scene too that a lot of people forget about.
Well, I can say EDK is way okay for me.
Yes.
Great passion, soul, just like you.
Appreciate
Cheers to you.
that.
Great job. Cheers.
Thanks.
So you have a great history here in the center part of Sonoma. How important is it you make sure that you maintain that historical awareness and at the same time living in the contemporary part of the culinary world too?
Yes, it's very important. You know, it's all about the stories. Wine has a lot of history and stories. The food, our food is what we call Californian. You will find a little Spanish, undertone in the flavor. And the chef makes sure, he provides this great flavor, texture, presentation on the plate.
So tell me a little bit how about, in your opinion, how challenging it is. You have one of the world's great wine regions here to make sure the cuisine is on par to that they're both in the world-class stage, because it really is here.
Well, that's actually pretty easy. That's the easy part, because we have the great food, we do farm to table here, fresh products, seasonal cooking, and we have about, I want to say, 400 wineries in Sonoma and 600 wineries in Napa, plus Central Valley, plus France, plus South Africa. So we have a lot of wine to play with. What we try to do here is not to upsell a product, an item, is to upsell an experience.
Yes, and you've done that. It's a warm environment, a great look in the middle of the center of downtown Sonoma. Keep up the great work.
It's
great job,
pleasure.
Joel.
Thank
It's a
you very
pleasure.
much.
Thank you.
Sonoma Adventures provides a fun way to spin around the town plaza or along the hillside wineries. Let's go green and get active.
Man, I can smell the wine.
Isn't that amazing?
It is
Yeah.
awesome. What is that?
That's
It's
the Sebastiani. It's every time the wind changes, it starts to float over this
oh
direction.
my God, this is
It's fermentation.
beautiful. This is absolutely
These are all
awesome.
cab grapes, cab sauv right here.
Yeah.
Also Sebastiani vineyards.
This is awesome.
So this is what we would call seconds. So these are
Okay.
stuff that's left on the vine. Let's see if I grab a few of these
Beautiful,
here.
plus that rich, beautiful
Yeah,
Cabernet
look
grape,
at that.
right?
Grab
Yeah,
one,
yeah.
grab one. They're super tasty right now, full of sugar.
God, they're really
Yeah.
sweet. Now, we're bike enthusiasts, so it's natural to us, but what in the world made you start a bike company right here in the middle of Sonoma?
Harebrained idea. So my wife and I started doing a little Segway tour company, and then kind of evolved into a bike tour company as well. And so we've been doing this for 13 and a half years now.
Describe what happens when I jump on the bike and what I'm going to experience.
Right, so we do, 10 to 12 miles on average, but we can bump it up if people need. 2 to 3 wineries, behind-the-scenes cheese tasting experience, lunch.
What else can we do here that we could tie this wine experience with?
Oh, there's plenty to do here in Sonoma. So there's a handful of
I love cheese and wine.
My favorite.
Let's go. Hop on.
Vella Cheese Company continues an 85-year family tradition, producing gourmet cheeses using only local milk from a sustainable dairy of free-range cows. Means not only medal-winning cheeses, but also happy cows and happy customers.
After you.
Okay. Wow, this is, oh my gosh, Gabe, this is awesome. What is in here? This is
So this
amazing.
is our flagship product. This is what we're most known for, our dry Monterey Jack. This is the cheese we've made ever since we started in 1931, and this is what we're most famous for. My great-grandfather started this company, and when he started, he didn't see this as a artisan gourmet product. He was making cheese just like everyone else was in California, or really the United States. Small batches, small companies, very hands-on. We just have been silly enough to keep doing it the same way all these years.
I love cheese. One of my favorite things in the world. You can tell
Yes.
I love cheese. I'm a fan of the Quino cheese, the Parmesan Reggiano, but you have something that is really kind of unique to your brand that's similar to the king of cheese, right?
Yes, that's our dry Jack. What we're known
Got some of
for
it here, actually.
is the poor man's Parmesan, as it's called. Yes, or California Parmesan. You've got a lot of the same nutty characteristics, and the granular texture that you would with a Parmesan. A lot of ours is a bit younger than most of the imported Parmesan that we get here in the United States, so it's not quite as hard and dried out and salty.
That's exactly it. I was just going to say it's not as salty. It doesn't have that hard bite to it.
Right.
That's actually better.
Yes.
I think that's
Then,
better.
Yeah, I've grown up with it, so I'm a little partial. This is a cheese that my great-grandfather developed in the 30s that was quite popular in the days of ice boxes.
Wow.
So everyone had their Monterey Jack that would sit out without refrigeration. It would kind of melt and turn to a puddle. Your dry Jack would be really dried out and aged and hard. So you had a mezzo secco that you made in between. You had higher fat and didn't dry it out as much. So it was slice and melt like your Jack, but wasn't quite as
That
dry
melts
and
in
hard.
your mouth.
Yes.
That literally melts in your mouth. That is so soft.
The mezzo
and so
secco,
creamy.
the mezzo secco is definitely our new crowd favorite.
Fremont Diner, a favorite destination on Highway 12 for locals and tourists alike. Nostalgia, grandma's good old comfort food with a modern hip twist. We're talking delish. There's some restaurants that are good at the home comfort food. There's some restaurants that are good at seasonality. Some that are really good at the farm to table and the freshness, but you kind of combine all that together.
I wasn't necessarily a Southern cook prior to this. I liked Southern food and I grew up on it. It was just a combination of everything that I was doing prior to coming into this place and then throwing a Southern twist on it.
Where does your passion for cooking come from?
It started off just needing to make some money to afford my kids. And then slowly but surely became a bigger passion than that.
Tell me a little bit about some of the things that you pride yourself on cooking here.
Well, we're proud of everything that we put on the menu, but I feel like we're especially proud of a lot of the cured meats and the barbecue, the smoked meats.
And what's the experience you want people to leave from when they come here?
You know, this is an extension of our home, so I want people walking away with a little bit of that. I know it's tough when it gets busy around here to have it feel like that, but ultimately that's what was in our thoughts when we opened the place, was to have them walk away feeling like they just left a friend's house.
Okay, so it's my last meal, my last day on Earth, and I'm coming here to eat. What should I eat? What would you make me?
I'd probably just make you some biscuits and gravy.
Oh, that sounds awesome. That's awesome. Maybe a little chicken and waffles thrown on top of it.
If you're really hungry.
That'd be awesome. Famous Fremont biscuits and gravy.
Certainly.
Awesome. What's your name?
Stu.
Stu, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
Thank
you,
you
too.
so much. Oh, these big, chunky pieces of sausage, this creamy, delicious little sauce. That is amazing. A unique find in the heart of the wine country, Sonoma Springs Brewing Company offers an impressive variety of over 20 beers on tap. This award-winning brewery produces handcrafted California ales, German-style beers, and barrel-aged brews. And just to keep things hopping, on any stop-in, you'll be able to find an additional experimental beer or two.
So the first one we're gonna pour is our Sonoma Springs Kolsch.
Nice.
Light German-style ale, similar to a Pilsner or a lager. Next beer we're gonna pour is our Roggen beer. Not a lot of people brew Roggen beers in California or even in the United States. I like to describe it as a rye-based Hefeweizen. Next one we're gonna pour is our Brewha Magic. This is our version of a German alt beer. So, you know, nice, dark, roasty notes.
Great for the fall and winter.
Right, you know, for my money, drinking a pint of this with a chocolate brownie and vanilla ice cream, it really can't get any better than that.
That sounds wonderful.
Really similar from an American style perspective to a porter. And then the last one is by far our most popular. This is our Subliminal Gold IPA. Nice light-bodied IPA. You know, it does have a bit of a hop kick to it, but not anything that's, you know, gonna give you bitter beer face. So that's gonna be the Kolsch.
Wow, that's nice. Got a great, simple, nice, clean nose. But boy, it's just delicious and refreshing. That is so refreshing. What's this next one here?
Okay, so this is our Roggen beer, our New Bavaria Roggen beer.
God, what a beautiful color.
This was the one I was describing earlier that's got a nice rye kick to it, but there's some cloviness to it. Very unique.
That's awesome.
Yeah, very
That
unique.
is awesome.
So this is our Brewha Magic, Verano Alt. You can tell we like long names here. But that's gonna be your, you know, your dark beer lover's beer. Yeah.
And this last one here?
The last one is our Subliminal Gold IPA, 7% brewed with Haltaler Blanc hops.
Wow. Is it challenging being in the middle of one of the great wine country regions in the world?
You know, they think you're crazy. What are you doing? But like I said earlier, you know, I think there's, you know, especially with the craft beer movement over the past, let's call it 5 to 7 years, you know, we're not just drinking boring, light lagers, right? We're drinking things that change our perspective on how a beer should taste.
Right.
Like the Roggen beer, the rye. I picked that one specifically because it is so unique and so different compared to pretty much anything else you can get out there.
You know what things I love about you as a business is really how you're infused with this community too. You just a few months ago had this tragic event happen with those fires that really directly impacted you.
Yeah.
But you were making a difference just for this community as well.
We have I guess it's kind of an unofficial motto that beer is community. Our perspective is we want to extend that community outside of the tap room. And we also actually do a yearly fundraiser benefiting the Sonoma Valley Fire Department.
Yeah.
And the story behind that is when we were building this business, when we moved tap rooms and breweries to this location, there was a huge fire in the back of the building, and the local fire department came and put it out, and they really saved us.
Awesome.
And so we decided at that point that we wanted to give back. And so we brewed a custom beer with them 3 years ago called Satali Red. And every year we've thrown a party and a beer release with a portion of proceeds going to benefit them, which they use to do whatever they need to do, buy trucks, equipment, whatever they need to do.
You're doing an amazing job. This beer is outstanding.
Thank you very much.
Take a break from the wine tasting for a few hours.
Come on in.
Come to Sonoma Springs.
Cheers.
Here's to you, my friend.
Yep.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Sonoma Valley Museum of Art, a nonprofit organization promoting the creation, exhibition, and collection of fine arts from all over the world. The museum also serves as a magnet for creative energy, expression, community innovation, and inspiration.
This is a great center for food and wine, as you know, but it's also a great place for art, too. We have the museum, we've got performing arts here, we have an international film festival, a chamber music orchestra. There's lots and lots going on in Sonoma. Our mission here is community engagement, and so we strive to bring regional, some local artists, world-class artists to Sonoma and present their art through very extensive programming.
Tell me a little bit about what we're seeing in this space here. This is absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you. This is a show of contemporary California women artists. They're working in metal, they're working in stone, and also fabric as well. When you hit the door, the first piece that you see is this Lisa Reinertsen piece, this Wolf Rider, that really speaks to a lot of people.
That's gorgeous.
Sometimes it's the Inez Johnston with their cultural implications. Just depends on what day it is.
Do you love it here?
I love it here. I love the small town feel, yet there's a sophistication. And, something that happened after the fires is this community really came together. And I think if there is a silver lining to this horrible thing that we all went through, it's that it has made us an even stronger community. And we're open and ready for business.
Right.
Your ultimate wine tasting journey awaits at Mayo Family Winery Reserve Room, where executive chef John Locker takes you on a wine and food pairing adventure. Each guest is treated to a 7-course menu of Mayo Family Reserve wines paired with artisan bites complementing each selection. A most definitive wine country experience.
If you look around the world, the most sought after, most expensive, however you want to describe it, wines are almost always single vineyard. There's a certain sense of place from some vineyards with growers in the right microclimate, the right soil, that year in, year out produce superior wines. We always say garbage in, garbage out. If you have bad grapes, it's going to be really tough to make good wine. They say it takes 10 years to make money in the wine business. I'm here to tell you it takes 11. So it was really an uphill battle, and we had to experiment. We had a couple different tasting rooms, and we sold to distributors and wine shops, and it wasn't until we figured out that we needed to create an experience and sell all of our wine ourselves that we really started to hit our stride. And we always say it was a revolutionary concept in tasting rooms because we had chairs. But it's not just that you can sit down and relax, but you can enjoy. We always drink wine with food.
Yeah.
So why shouldn't we taste wine with food?
Absolutely.
Because that's how we're going to consume it later.
Absolutely.
So you can see how it performs with the food before you purchase it, before you take it home.
Chef, what do you have here for us?
So Ray, starting on the far left for you that we're going to be serving with the Chardonnay is our butternut squash bisque. And we've roasted it to kind of emphasize some of the natural sweetness and earthiness that you get from butternut squash. We also topped it with a little bit of house-made pumpkin seed pesto,
I can see that.
a little bit of house-made creme fraiche, and some toasted pumpkin seeds.
Perfect balance, nice and easy, no conflict there. That's a great job. Way to go.
Thank you.
This next pairing,
Well, it's the 2013 Ricci Vineyard Zinfandel, and it's definitely an old vine Zinfandel, so it's got that big, plummy, jammy character that's typical of Zinfandel. But it's also got some nice spice to it as well, which is also characteristic of Zinfandel. And we're pairing that with the Neiman Ranch Pâté de Campagne. So this is a country-style pork pâté that we made here in-house from Neiman Ranch products. And we've really kind of adapted it to this wine by enhancing some of the natural spice character of the pâté.
yeah, that is outstanding. That's
This is definitely
fantastic.
one of our favorites.
Yeah, it's got a nice little spicy finish, a little tannins there. It's beautiful.
Yes.
I love it. Mm.
So on the far right here, we have our 2013 Reserve Meritage. So this is a blend of Merlot, Cabernet Franc, and Cabernet Sauvignon. They all come from the same vineyard. And we chose it to pair it with this dish because this is our Moroccan lamb shank vol au vent. So vol au vent just being a French term for the pastry shell that it's in. We chose this dish because what we've done is marinated the lamb overnight with the Meritage, and then we coated it with Moroccan spice, cooked it low and slow overnight as well, till it's falling apart tender, and it really kind of gives you that beautiful, unctuous kind of ragu style meat, which really kind of balances nicely against some of the younger tannins that you get from the Meritage.
Yeah. I just want to take this pen and this paper, and all I'm gonna do is gonna give you a little A+ right here.
Perfect.
Okay?
I love it.
Good job. Thank you, Chef.
Thank you,
Way
Ray.
to go. Great to
Cheers.
meet you. Cheers to you. Thank you.